Question for you. If you're driving for Uber Eats, are you doing anything different as a driver, different than, let's say, if you drove on DoorDash or Postmates? Well, if the answer is no, you're doing it wrong. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike. This channel is dedicated to your success in this gig economy, the side hustle. So if you are new here, consider subscribing. Now, let me explain what I mean here, but I just drove a few orders as an Uber Eats driver. And in my opinion, there's some very specific things you need to do specifically for Uber Eats. So I'm going to show you a few things that I noticed when driving, but first I'm going to give you a quick quiz. So firstly, this order from Burgatory here in the North Shore in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I'm driving for. So as you can see here, of course, it's a stacked order. That is 2 assignments for 1 driver. Now, regardless of which app you drive it for, I would consider picking up a catering bag, at least another hot and cold bag, especially here in Pittsburgh, or if you're in colder markets, it's a no-brainer as far as investment. But I just wanted to show you the delivery confirmation screen. Now, this is not unique to Uber Eats. For really all of these apps, especially with contactless delivery, when you leave the order at the door, it's going to ask you, of course, to take a photo confirmation. So here's the quiz for you. What stands out in this picture? Think about that. We're going to get back to that later. Now, here's another best practice, especially from what I've seen on the DoorDash platform. So this is kind of carrying over to Uber Eats here, and that is to leave delivery confirmation notes as well. So again, this is a contactless delivery. We're going to leave the food at the customer's front door, porch, table, etc. as instructed. And I would just also confirm that in the notes to the customer as well. Because I don't want this to happen to you, but at least from what we've seen on the DoorDash platform really recently in Q4 of 2020 and here in 2021 is customers reporting that the delivery was never made. So if there's anything that you can do as far as documentation and even more documentation, I would do that even here on Uber Eats as well. Because if that customer does report that they didn't get the order, even though you did deliver as instructed, on a DoorDash, you may get what's called a contract violation. And too many of those violations may lead to your account being deactivated. Now, we haven't necessarily seen anything official like a contract violation on the Uber Eats end as a driver, but regardless, these customers can still report to support if they did not, in fact, receive the order. So on that front, always follow all delivery notes. Place it exactly where the customer is requesting, porch, front door, what have you. And again, more documentation doesn't hurt. But here's tip number 1. As far as Uber Eats specific driving, I want you to take a look at this order request. So take a look here, $14.02. Now it is a stacked delivery. We can see that by the delivery with the number 2 icon above. But what else about this? We can see it's 2.2 miles. We can see the pickup location. Now, you may not actually be able to tell from this screenshot, so let me explain. What I've seen specifically on the Uber Eats platform, and let me know in the comments if you've seen the same, is unlike a DoorDash, unlike Postmates, I cannot zoom in on this order request screen. And that actually helps a lot because I want to see the starting location. I want to see the drop-off location for strategy. Is it putting me in a busy zone, what we call a power strip, a strip of road with a lot of restaurants? Is it taking me far away? Let's see, this order was 2.2 miles. That's not that bad, but consider this would be 5 miles or 10 miles. Where is it taking me? So if I can't zoom in, I can't see that, and that really hurts me when it comes to strategy. So whenever you're looking at potential orders on Uber Eats, ideally if you can see both the starting and the ending destination in the app, in this screenshot, and in this case, where we can kind of see both locations, that's better. Because I've had orders where it'll be 5, 10 plus miles, and you can't see one of these destinations. Now here's another example. Luckily, I can see both starting and the ending destination, but I cannot zoom in. This one, $11.98, and it's a stacked order. Actually, speaking of that stacked order, here's a screenshot of that delivery confirmation screen that is required for contactless deliveries. So going back to the quiz time picture from a prior, this is a similar picture here. So what stands out in this delivery confirmation picture? Now this hack that I want to share with you, this was actually a tip from one of you, which is awesome. That's in part why we're a team here on the channel. But the hack is to include your hot and cold bag on the delivery confirmation picture. Now I love that hack and I want you to do that going forward. It really doesn't matter if you're in a cold northern marketplace like here in Pittsburgh, really regardless. I think that is a new best practice when it comes to confirmation screens. And I say that because as a customer, if you get the delivery confirmation, especially on Uber Eats, where customers are more used to tipping after the fact, after they get the delivery here. If you don't see a hot and cold bag and maybe the food isn't as hot as you would have liked, then you may assume that driver didn't use a hot and cold bag, even though they may have. So I've started doing this going forward. Again, shout outs to you for recommending this hack. Definitely do this going forward. So now turning our attention back to Uber Eats specific drive and take a look at this order. $3.50 for a smaller distance here, 1.6 miles, and it's a pickup from McDonald's. Now I've said it before, I'm not really a big fan of picking up from fast food restaurants. Generally, the order total is smaller, which means the percent of tip is smaller, and really, honestly, there's lower payouts from fast food pickups. There's that, and then there's combined with the potential of picking up in the drive-thru, and frankly, most of these fast food restaurants are gonna have you go through the drive-thru anyway. So remember, we can't zoom in here on Uber Eats. We can see it's a lower payout. The miles are decent, but again, it's not cash flowing enough. I would decline this order. Here is a fantastic example of my point earlier about really not being able to zoom in on Uber Eats and how it can hurt you. Now this order, it's pretty good cash flow. It's $13.51. Now it is a stacked order, so remember 2 assignments for 1 driver. So I like to think of this as really dividing that pay in half. But look down below, especially on Uber Eats. In my opinion, this is a little bit harder to see on Uber Eats, but it's 24.7 miles. And here's another order example with good cash flow. Again, $13+ payout for this one, but a route that is really unknown, and it is for 11.5 miles. Something else specific to Uber Eats, and I want your thoughts on this one if you see this as well. That is the blackout screen. I don't know if it's just my app. Again, please leave some feedback down below in the comments, but I can't see anything with the route because I get this screen. Now this one, $6.69. It's a decent payout, and actually there's a decent miles here, 2.6 miles. So let me know down below in the comments, is this an iOS thing? Is this just my app maybe? Or do you get the blackout screen as well? Something else that's really unique to Uber Eats driving, that's profile timeouts. A timeout from driving. Now, as an independent contractor, you do have the freedom to decline orders that don't make sense to you, and you won't be penalized for doing so. You may be wondering, why aren't I getting another Uber Eats request? Well, it may be because the app timed you out. It's basically just pausing new requests until you confirm, yes, I want to remain online. Now, I do want to give you a hack that you can actually use for really any food delivery or really any delivery app in general. This is when it comes to actually making the delivery and finding the right spot. So tonight I was making this delivery and the pickup went fine and it's time to make the delivery. So of course the app is going to give you all of the information, the customer name, the instructions, and of course the address. Now what you'll find when trying to make the delivery is you'll stop at the PIN destination. If that's the PIN on, in this case, Uber Eats, or if it is DoorDash, Postmates, or with your Waze app or with Google Maps. So you're stopping at the PIN as shown whenever you entered the address. So you're stopped in the right place, but you can't find the right house or building or apartment. So in these circumstances, let's say it's dark, let's say I just see a corner of a building and I can't really determine if that's the right building. Here's the hack that I do with Google Maps. Even if I'm using Google Maps for my navigation, I will close that out, or if I'm not using Google Maps, I'll go into the app and then I'll simply enter the address. What this is gonna do more times than not is it's gonna pull up the street view of the actual building. And I actually use this hack tonight because I couldn't tell Was it the single family home in front of me, or was it this larger building to my left? If there's bad weather, you can't see. If it's dark, you can't see. I love using this Google Maps Street View hack. So I hope these hacks helped you on the Uber Eats platform and other food delivery platforms. If you got value in this video, definitely drop me a like. And you can also click or tap the screen here for my most recent video, as well as a video recommended for you. And I'll see you in the next one.